very unique event. I mean, how cool is this setup? It's really neat to see all his work in one cohesive exhibition, I guess. And it's also really awesome to see just all the faces and of the people that Eric had such a profound impact on. And when you look around this room, it's pretty clear that he was a person of immense talent. And he could have been a professional painter or anything. I mean, his talent is unbelievable. And he also had a very deep impact on a lot of people, a lot of us in this room, and especially myself, for sure. So I'm looking forward to actually hearing from some of his family and some of his best friends that are going to come up and share a few memories with us here in just a couple minutes. But before that, I would like to introduce Reverend Bob Buechner. Reverend Buechner works at Duke Raleigh Hospital every Saturday, and he got to spend some time with Eric at his last hospital visit, and that's where Christine met him as well, and Christine has asked him to come here today and lead us in a word of prayer. So Reverend Buechner.
Wonderful to be here surrounded by Eric's art. And I'm not talking about just paintings on the wall. I'm talking about the artwork that he's put inside you. Quite a feature to see that. It's a privilege to be able to participate in this with you. This is a poem by Elizabeth Ammons, and I think from what I understand, this kind of fits how Eric would like this to be done. You can shed tears because they're gone, or you can smile because they live. You can close your eyes and pray they will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all they left you. Your heart can be empty because you can't see them, or you can be full of the love you shared. Turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday. Or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember only that they're gone, or you can cherish their memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind and feel empty, or you can do what they would want. Smile. Open your heart. Love. Go on.
So Eric, in the simplest terms, he was one of the most unassuming, genuine person you would ever meet. He lived in the moment, but it was never about him. He didn't care about the spotlight or revelry. He was all about sharing the experience. And across all his personas, right? He was an artist, an author, a chef, a brewmeister, a husband, father, and a good friend. Whoever he was to you, whether it was Eric, the Joker, or my favorite because we coined it, Stimpy, you knew that when you were with him, you were with a friend. There is one most memorable story, and so it's amazing to see some of this artwork I've seen, some of this I have never seen before. So it's interesting to see it, but I do have one piece, and there's actually pictures here, and I'm amazed somebody actually brought up, they remember this. My family, I come from a big family, we used to have in the mid-90s have a crab fest. My sister lived in Maryland, in Amelia Island in Florida. We'd fly down, crabs for 4th of July, we had a big party. Have them all flown in Delta Dash, go to the airport together. We invited Eric and Christine to come down with us one year, and they were down there. We spent the week down there. So 4th of July, fireworks, everything else. And so we had this party, and they decided we had to do something customized for the party. So once again, as selfless as they are, we made custom t-shirts for the party. And Eric and Christine stopped, middle of vacation, and spent the whole day painting t-shirts. I know there's a picture of them up here, but this is one that I remember. You think about the strangest things you keep, right? A 25-year-old t-shirt, right, in the drawer. They made these, and this is typically Eric's. That's my, and it's got both Eric and Christine on it, right? Eric, you can tell Eric's name. Eric's writing the name on the front. Christine did the insides and the outsides. So I've had this thing for 25 years. It's in my drawer. This is one of my most prized Eric possessions. But the reason this is more special for me is this is actually the weekend. they got engaged. So we were with him in Florida, 4th of July, and Eric proposed to Christine. We were at their wedding. She was in our wedding, but special moment they got proposed when they made these for us. So, this is a moment I want to share. This is special to me. And
again, one is probably the funniest joke I ever heard Eric tell, and it's a tough one. So hang on, I don't think I've ever even repeated this to anyone until I told it to Christine. Was it 2 nights ago? And it went over okay. So to set the stage real quick, we worked at Bogan's back in college. Jeff over there is the only other one here that was there. Michael Paul was supposed to be with us here. I really hoped he would be here. He's part of this. And I think I was waiting tables that night because I remember the perspective of looking at them all back working on the line. Michael Paul was running the grill, which means he was in charge. And it was really busy, and there was food flying out everywhere. And it all settled down, and Eric was working the fryer, right? And all the food was out, and Eric had like 5 baskets full of fries left over. And Michael Paul's like, Eric, I told you to make 28 fries. And Eric turns around and doesn't miss a beat. He says, sorry, Michael Paul, I was counting at base 8. Mr. Artist! Come up with that joke on the spot like that. It's the best thing I ever heard. And then I guess the other quick memory is that, you know, we've been playing poker for years. There's a center of poker guys back over there, and you know, we have this chair that it was my wife never let me buy a Barca lounger, but she got this nice. It's a leather chair and it reclines. It's very comfortable, and we use it on poker night when people go to excess. We'll just say, right? And I think Eric probably had the most time in that chair. You know, at the end of the night, he was 9 times out of 10 he was in that chair by the end of the night. So I'll be brief like I was at Eric's wedding, and thank you for letting me share a couple moments.
I really struggled with this because I've known Eric. I would have known him for 30 years coming this fall, and I couldn't think of just one memory because we have been friends for, you will see a lot of pictures in there that prove this, a long time, and we have memories that are good and bad and wonderful, and there just isn't one favorite one. And so I kind of went back to thinking about his art. I'm wearing a t-shirt that we had a reunion after he was diagnosed. It's because we met on the 5th floor of Shames, Virginia Tech, about 30 years ago. And it was just it was taking that moment with us to the reunion and then to be able to wear the art today. And my painting, believe it or not, is not one of these big ones. It's a tiny one over there that he made for me, I think it was 1991 for Christmas. And it was my Christmas present. And those of you who knew him back then, he listened to a lot of Paul Simon. And Graceland was very big then. It had a good beat. And he chose the lyrics from one of the songs called Spirit Voices. It starts by saying, greetings, excuse me one moment. I remind you that tomorrow will be all or it will be nothing. It depends, heart. It will be brief, or it will be great. I'm gonna cry. It depends on the passion. It will be dirty, it will be a dream. Be careful, heart. It will be useful, it will be late. Do your best, heart, and have trust in the power of tomorrow. Sorry, guys. I promise I wouldn't cry. I read that a lot of times over the years, through good times and bad. So Eric is always a little bit of a part of me at my own house, as he has been a lot of people who own his art. He's a gift as a friend, and on my Facebook post, I said thank you to him because I had 29 years of friendship with him. And I thank each and every one of you for sharing today because he was a good, kind, wonderful heart.
Okay, so hopefully I'll be a little bit more brief, but there are 3 pages, so y'all can just deal with that, okay? I was his roommate in college, some of you know that already. We had our very first house with our names on the lease. It was a big deal. Okay, so I'd like to read a quote from a book I recently read. The title's a bit weird. The title of the book is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Foot, and then there's an asterisk, which I think means take a beat. And then it says, Counterintuitive Approach to Living a Good Life by Mark Manson. Death scares us. And because it scares us, we avoid thinking about it, talking about it, sometimes even acknowledging it, even when it's happening to someone close to us. Yet, in a bizarre, backwards way, death is the light by which the shadow of all life's meaning is measured. Jesus, all right. And then I'd like to read a short passage from a book Eric introduced me to many, many years ago when he was accompanying me on a life quest. I decided on the spur of the moment to take a road trip. He decreed he would be joining me. A road trip with no set destination. But I think both of us knew where we were going. Anyway, without telling me, Eric brought along a book, Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah. Eric read the whole thing to me aloud while I was driving us to nowhere. Yeah. And then later we switched, and I read it to him, this time while he drove. And while we did get to where we weren't going, that part isn't important. Our true work was the voyage. Thanks for working that part with me, E. This is a letter that I wrote to Eric. When you wrote me while I was visiting my in-laws in Italy and suggested you come see me in my natural habitat while you could still travel, I was floored by my emotions. We talked about fundraising, and I suggested that you needed at least $10,000 realistically, but you weren't comfortable with asking for so much. So we settled on asking for the bare minimum to pay for the flights. Less than 24 hours after the GoFundMe page launched, your army of supporters had donated very nearly $10,000. It was quite humbling. You said, this is a text from Eric, I knew we were going to have a good response. I just didn't expect to hit my limit on the first freaking day. I was basically sobbing the whole entire day yesterday. I could organize a trip. I could set up a GoFundMe page. I could do that. It felt I was somehow beating that ugly bitch cancer's ass for you. And I think everyone who donated did so in the same spirit. We were all finally able to do something. So I thank you for that. My brother from another mother, she's here somewhere. There you are. You were brilliant at life. I wish that I had been able to show you all the fabulousness that is here, meaning there, to show you all the amazing iconic things that there are to see. A 2,000-year-old Roman aqueduct still standing as a middle finger to nature's onslaught seemed appropriate somehow. But I know that would have just been gravy, as my ma says. It was happening. It was real. That you didn't make it is a bummer. But it's almost secondary to the fact that we were all able to do something concrete to help, and that you made that possible. You extraordinary human being, you. I couldn't believe it when you told me we only lived together for 2 years. Not that I doubt you. You were always so much better with reality than me. Thanks for that. I finally found someone to do that for me again, by the way. Marcello is the ground to my clouds, as you were for a time. Of course, it seems like longer because we did so very many things in those 2 years. There were beach trips, and Sunday brunches, and mountain lake picnics, and football games, and ridiculous answer phone greetings created together. Ren and Stimpy marathons, and dinners, and parties, and drama. Oh, yes, drama. Thanks for helping me with my drama, my friend. The things we shared. Beer goggles, Nwanda, Kubrick's mushroom flying through the living room. I cannot begin to thank you, my friend. You made life happen. Thank you.
One, maybe, and I had my first child, and it was a boy, and this smile from ear to ear, not any hair at all, but this smile. And he was like that all of his life. Have you seen that picture? Is it in the thing? Oh, that's
And just grabbing a home brew, listening to tunes, shooting the stuff. And And just talking about the trials and tribulations of being, a parent of teens, getting together on a Saturday watching a hockey game and getting superbly frustrated at our Virginia Tech's terrible play calling and total lack of offense. We definitely had that in common and a lot of funny times doing that. But I mean, it's really, for me, it's just seeing him every week, the mundane things, his smile, his sense of humor, his good nature, and that's what I'm really going to miss. And but I'm thankful that we had that while he was here. So now that I've brought the room down, I'll try to lift it back up just a tad. Bill Murray once said, "This is not a dress rehearsal. This is your life." And I think Eric really epitomized that in the way that he lived his life, the way he tried and was passionate about art, about cooking, about music. When he met Christine, he knew that she was the one for him, and he thought he was the luckiest man alive to have her. And going over to Ken's to play poker, going over to Kevin Blake's shop to hang out, he got joy from all that, and he lived life to the fullest. And I just want to thank him for inspiring me and really all of us to live our lives the same way. And that's what I'm gonna try to do. And I want to thank him for doing that. So here's to Eric.
This is the day of the expanding man. That shape is my shame, there where I used to stand.
Kind of call through the ones
It seems like only yesterday I gave you glad at Ramblers, wild gamblers, that's all in the past. You call me a fool, you say it's a crazy scheme. This one's for real,